Hello, all you Pickle Award viewers out there. Dylan here, the host of the show. I just wanted to make a little bit of a statement before we begin tonight's ceremony. 2025 had so many highs. Blockbusters, box office winning films that crushed at the box office, left us all dazzled throughout the year. So many amazing events transpired in 2025. But it was a difficult year nonetheless. And so to open the Pickle Awards in a bit of an unprecedented way, I wanted to start by paying some respect to all that we lost in 2025. Thank you.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets.
And I was like, it's Mira the Cats.
And you took
but I won!
Through the wood, who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you.
And I
I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore.
For good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy live Pickle Awards night. I fooled you. You thought you were getting the In Memoriam. You were getting something, I think, a lot more fun. Kind of paying homage to all those we lost last year. All the memes, all the reputations, all the interviews and Oscar chances and snubs along the way. But welcome to the Pickle Awards, the 6th annual Pickle Awards. I started a bit late. I had to get my Varang pin. I can't do a zoom in on that right now, but if anyone wants one of these, all you have to do is change your vote to Avatar Fire and Ash, and I'll buy you one of these. Just kidding. The polls have closed, but you guys selected some amazing winners. I cannot wait to share with you all of the winners. I'm not doing it alone. We have Matt Chapmond back this year, Chadwick Webb back this year, and Kelsey Kilpatrick making her return here to the Pickle Awards, which is so exciting. And two brand new presenters, Carly Perkins making her Pickle Award debut tonight, will be presenting one of the awards, and we have JD Domash, or sometimes known as Adam in the Marvel cinema movie trivia sphere. JD and or Adam will be back to present some awards. Actually, our first award of the day is actually going to be presented by JD. But what a great year for films it has been. Thank you so much. I'm so glad they asked me back this year to host yet again for the 6th year in a row. I feel like a real Billy Crystal here, and I'm very honored to have all of you in the live chat. This is the first time I've actually watched the chat as I open the show. I always have so many jitters, but I've done this 6 times now, so I feel like I've got a better grasp on it. A lot of clips I've got ready for copyright strikes. I'm not monetizing this video. Don't you worry, YouTube. I'm ready to go. I've tested all the clips. I've played them all for my mom. She loves all the clips. So we're good to go. We're smooth sailing. I don't want to just throw JD in the ring right away, though. He is presenting Best Movie Opening, and traditionally we always start with Best Opening. So JD, do not worry. I'm going to ease your nerves a little bit. I figured to make it as easy as possible for JD to muster up the courage to present here. I wanted to present a few awards that weren't on the ballot. Y'all didn't vote for these. There are going to be no audience awards for it. These aren't official Pickle Awards, but I decided to come up with some superlatives just so I could just spice up the night and get things going in a fun way. So when JD, you get out here, you can let us know, you can show us your skills presenting here in just a bit. But because you're a first-time presenter, I wanted to ease the nerves a little bit. So here's some superlatives that I came up with that I thought of. First, there are some movies I watch, of course, after I make these nominations, so that I just wanted to pay some homage to. So the first award of the night for the movie I would have nominated had I seen them before the Pickle Awards is Kokuo. If you don't know this one, it's nominated for makeup and hairstyling at the Oscars. I would have nominated it for probably makeup, also costumes, set, cinematography, all these awards that I think Kokuo should have been nominated for. It should not have 0 pickle nominations. So that is a big oversight on my part. But another award, which is kind of similar, is the documentary I would have nominated had I seen it before the Pickle Awards, and that is Mr. Nobody Against Putin. Clearly, my number 1 favorite in that category. If you watched my Death Race video, it's a shame I watched that after the Oscar or after the Pickle nominations. Otherwise, I would have given that the prize. Another award is the best movie that got no nominations. So this is a movie that I loved, but just could not squeeze it in anywhere. It was actually my number 1 Sundance film. It is Plainclothes. If you've never heard of this or never seen it, go check it out. Tom Blythe was number 6 for Best Actor for me. If I hadn't watched Blue Moon when I did, he would have been my number 5. And it was also kind of teetering on the precipice of getting in for a screenplay. So go check out Plainclothes. The award for the Best Actor performance without a Pickle nomination. He was so close to getting nominated for Best Actor in a horror film, but I ultimately felt like this superlative was the best way to honor him. That is Indy. Indy, his performance in Good Boy, the best performance by an actor without a Pickle Award nomination. Wanted to shed some light on that amazing performance. My favorite performance in a movie I absolutely hated has to be Harrison Ford in Captain America: Brave New World. I mean, what a terrific performance in a movie that I think is absolutely atrocious. Allie is watching the MCU films for the first time this year, so I'm going to have to watch this one again this year, and I'm dreading it. I'm absolutely dreading it. But hey, he's great in it. And now another award is the best date night. Speaking of Allie, the best date night of the year was The Housemaid. What a fun time at the movies that was. What a real intense, fun time at the movies. Just great, trashy fun at the cinemas. Love you, Allie. And now the superlative for the best movie you've probably never heard of. I considered EFIS, but it got some, Indie Spirit Award noms. So some people probably heard of EFIS, the baseball movie. It's a hangout movie, a baseball movie. Familiar Touch, which I think is pretty relatively unknown. It's a movie about a woman who has dementia who goes into a nursing home, but that's nominated for Best Actress tonight. So you've definitely heard of it if you've looked at the polls, and if you haven't voted in the polls, why not? And so the award for the best movie you've never heard of, Sacramento. You heard of it? Probably not, but you have now. Go check it out. Michael, I always forget his last name. Michael Cera in the middle there. Two Michaels there. And then Kristen Stewart. A lot of great performances in that movie. It's not like one of my tops of the year, but it's probably the best movie you've never heard of. So I wanted to recommend it. A few more superlatives. The movie I thought was going to be god-awful, straight to streaming trash, but I actually really liked it and actually shed a tear by the end. The winner is Freakier Friday, a movie that I did not expect to cry as much as I did. Allie was sitting next to me. She can tell you I cried a lot during this movie. I do not know why. And Julia Butters continues her streak of starring in Pickle Award winning movies, having followed The Fabelmans. So there you go. Julia Butters, congratulations. And finally, the last superlative that is brand new to you all, the Pickle audience, is the best performance convincing me that movie twins were actually real people and real twins. And it is a three-way tie between Michael B. Jordan playing two versions of himself, Mickey 17's Robert Pattinson playing Mickey 17, 18, and all the other Mickeys, and then Dylan O'Brien, whose two twins don't appear on the same screen at the same time, so I had to get that photoshopped image, but convincing twin performances nonetheless. Now, one last thing, I'm going to pull this up just because I want you to see it. DYL Pickle Movie Network, if you're watching this and have never seen anything on the network, thanks for stumbling upon this. Please subscribe. Please like this video. Share this video all you can to help our channel grow. And vote in the poll for the top 10 films of the quarter century. That is a poll we are doing right now. You can look in the description below. Wait till after the show to do it, or for a category you somehow don't care about, but you're at the Pickle Awards. You care about all the categories. But that is a poll I've been conducting. That will close Sunday night. After the Oscars, I will close that poll. And then later on in the year, I will be releasing all 100 movies that end up on the collective list. I've already had about 2,000 submissions for this poll, but I want more, and I want more from the voices who are actually watching this channel, actually part of this network. But it's blocking my Varang pin, so I have to get rid of that graphic. I need the Varang pin to be in sight the whole time. Varang, not nominated for any Oscars, but Una Chaplin is nominated for some Pickle Awards. So I thought it'd be really fun to do something a little different this year with Best Picture. And I decided, instead of just saving Best Picture for the end, because every award show saves Best Picture for the end, except for that year Nomadland won Best Picture, and that was really awkward. I'm still going to give Best Picture out at the end of the show, but what I thought I would do, because this is essentially my top 10 list of the year, just stretched to a 2-hour award show ceremony for you all. So what I thought I would do is I would show you the nominees right now for Best Picture, and then at the end of the show I will give you the winner, and as the show goes on I will reveal from number 10 to number 1 my top 10 list of the year. So I am going to show you my picks for the Best Picture of the year nominees. Here we go. Here are the nominees for Best Picture. So there you go. Those are the nominees for Best Picture. And staying true to what I said I would do, I'm going to give you my number 10 right now. And it's only because it's the most recent movie I did see before the Pickle Awards, so I've had the least amount of time to sit with it. But I wanted to give it its due. Number 10, drum roll. No other choice. There was no other choice but putting this in number 10, sadly, because I love the top 9 so much more. But no other choice. A fantastic film. Park Chan-wook should have gotten nominated for at least an Oscar, let alone, it got none. So, yeah, one Oscar would have been nice, but I would have nominated for Best Picture. I did nominate it for Best Picture. It will not be the winner today for the Pickle Award, but I love it so much. But the first person who has to present today, as I said, is going to be presenting the award for the best movie opening. And the cool thing about this presenter is that this guy actually chose No Other Choice as his pick for Best Picture on our draft. So I'm really excited to have him out here. Let's bring out JD, who's going to be presenting the award for Best Movie Opening. Here you go.
JD's a bit preoccupied at the moment, so he's asked me to present the first of 2 awards, Best Movie Opening. By the way, word to the wise, don't ever have your first guacamole experience at Dos Caminos, or this will happen. The nominees for Best Movie Opening are
What's your name, dickhead?
I'm Captain Stephen J. Lockjaw.
We're here to right your wrongs, motherfucker.
I've been unfaithful.
Just one time? 2? Please don't make me count 3.
Carrie!
And the DYL Pickle Award goes to Final Destination Bloodlines. But did the audience match? Yes, they did. JD may be ready later for Best Movie Closing. We'll see. See you soon.
Alrighty, there we go. Whoops, where did I go? There I am. Live television, people. This is the first time I'm doing this like completely live. Usually I have some of it premiered, and I usually film it like right before I air it, and then it airs on like a 30-minute to 1-hour delay. I've never done it live before, so we're gonna have a few kinks in the system. But yeah, JD, looks like he's not here. Looks like it's Adam. It might be Adam. If you know JD, you know his bit. So we'll have JD or Adam back a little bit later to present Best Movie Closing. But in the meantime, while we wait for JD to return from whatever his adventures to Dos Caminos led him to on his porcelain throne over there, why don't we present some of the music categories? Like, let's pump things up. We had some great music at the top of the show. That singer, I need to track him down. He's pretty good. But yeah, let's go through these music categories, starting with the award for the best pre-existing song, use of a pre-existing song in film. Here we go.
Hey, Anita.
I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. Welcome to your life. There's no turning back.
I'll be replaced if you only knew what the future holds. Baby, you're a reason why all the doors are closed, so you could open one that leads into the perfect road, like a lightning bolt.
'Cause I'm a punk rocker, yes I am.
Very cool. All right, here we go. First award I'm presenting of the night, first official award. I'm a little nervous, but here we go. The winner for the Audience Award for the best use of a pre-existing song in film He's a punk rocker. Yes, he is. It is punk rocker in Superman. Yes, I will pronounce it like that for the rest of my life. And the Pickle Award for Best Pre-Existing Song Use is Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Marty Supreme. Just such a fantastic use of that song. Let us now move on to the Best Original Song. The nominees are...
Somebody take me in your arms tonight. So I'll live like it's the last time for a long time at the wrong time. When's the right?
You're all I can think of, every drop I drink of. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop.
Alrighty, there we go, the nominees. And now the winner for the Pickle Award. Sorry, the Audience Award. Well, no, they are different, so I'm not going to say it. The Audience Award for Best Original Song goes to I Lie to You from Sinners. And the Pickle Award for Best Original Song, Golden, K-Pop Demon Hunters, my favorite song of the year, not just original in movies, but probably my favorite song just of the year, bar none. I know that might be an upset for some people, but you spoke, audience, and you gave it to Sinners, so that's our first big split right there. We had a split in the last category, but this was a big split. This was one where Sinners overwhelmingly won, and I was very overwhelmingly team K-Pop. But before we bring JD back, let's finish it out with the music categories for Best Original Score. Here we go. Alrighty, where am I? There I am. And the Audience Award for Best Original Score goes to the Academy favorite. It is Sinners. Sinners for Best Original Score. And the Pickle Award goes to Mr. Johnny Greenwood. One battle after another, my favorite score of the year. I couldn't even pick a clip for that one because I wanted to put the little like piano tingling. But that opening score is so good for that first like 15-20 minute segment of the movie. Just such a good score. Both those scores, fantastic. Sinners is absolutely my runner-up in that category. But JD or Adam, whoever you are, let's welcome you back to present the award for Best Movie Closing.
All right, Adam is back here to present Best Movie Closing. The nominees are...
Where have all the graveyards gone? Gone to flower everyone.
And then on there it says flash auto on and off.
No.
Well, if you push the, there's a little circle on the bottom right side. Click that.
I don't know why the hell am I here.
And the Dill Pickle Award goes to Sinners. But what did the audience have to say? They also went for Sinners. Hope you're enjoying the award so far. I gotta go check on JD. Goodbye, everybody.
Alrighty, there you go. Thank you so much, JD, first time presenter. Thank you for being here and for giving us your amazing vocal talents. Or Adam, whoever I'm talking to right now. I don't really know anymore. But let us move on. JD, obviously coming back to the MCU Trivia League. We just played a little bit of Avengers music. No Avengers films this year. There are some MCU films this year nominated in some of the action categories. So let's get into these action categories, starting with the award for Best Stunts. Here you go. Avatar, Fire and Ash, Ballerina, F1, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and Sinners. Alrighty, so the winner for the Audience Award for Best Stunts goes to Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Just look at Tom Cruise on that little airplane, so cute. And now the award for the Pickle Award for Best Stunts goes to Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. We agreed, audience. Finally. It took a long time. Even though I know in some of JD's categories we aligned too. So, audience, we're kind of simpatico for a lot of this. Let's move on now and see if we line up for the Best Actor in an Action Film. Here we go.
What did you toss out of the vehicle?
Excuse me?
What did you toss out of the vehicle back there?
Trash.
You sure about that?
Yes, ma'am.
You been drinking today?
I've had a few.
A few what?
A few small beers.
If you don't give me the rendezvous point, I swear to God, I will hunt you down and stick a loaded fucking hot piece of dynamite right up your fucking asshole.
You should put on more makeup to make yourself look better. You go to a dance, you make an effort. You put on more makeup.
I don't want to hurt you guys. Why don't you just turn yourselves in?
You don't want to do this, Bobby.
You can call me the Sentry.
Alrighty, and the Audience Award for Best Actor in an Action Film is Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. And the award for the Pickle Award for Best Actor in an Action Film, in my opinion, my best performance in that film, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. So those are the acting awards, or the Best Actor in an Action category. Let's move on to the Best Actress. The nominees are...
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman, but I question it. Yeah, I would question myself in the same situation and hold off a beat and consider the consequences.
How do you still live? Because it is the will of Ewa. Ewa.
I need a hand. You're here to prove yourself, hunting something that can't be killed.
It's a straight line. I have a problem. If it's not, you have to let me go. God, there's no way I'm actually yours because I can actually f***ing read.
I want you to create a show, Pat. Okay? This is an announcement of the mother revolution. Make it good. Make it bright.
Alrighty, and the Audience Award for Best Actress in an Action Film, Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another. And the Pickle Award for Best Actress in an Action Film is, I'm wearing her pin, Una Chaplin for Avatar, Fire and Ash, one of my very favorite performances of the year, bar none. Now let's move on to the next action category, which is the Best Action Sequence. You saw these on the TikTok, and they got a lot of buzz, so let's see what's going to walk away with the win here. The nominees for Best Action Sequence are...
It's almost impossible to breathe.
All over mine, and though in the middle of these moments are just in my head, I'll be thinking about them
one's out there slicing people up with a sword.
Can you repeat that?
Alrighty, and the winner for the Audience Award for Best Action Sequence, it is the car chase from One Battle After Another, and following suit, the Pickle Award also goes to the car chase for One Battle After Another, one of the greatest action sequences of our time, filmed so expertly and so creatively. It really harkened back to the great films like The French Connection of the 70s, but with its own modern flair to it. So that is the winner for Best Action Sequence. Let's wrap up the action categories now with the award for the Best Action Film. The nominees are Avatar: Fire and Ash, Ballerina, One Battle After Another, Superman, and Thunderbolts. Asterisk. All right, and the award for the audience for Best Action Film, the audience chose One Battle After Another, and the Pickle Award goes to One Battle After Another. It was heartbreaking to see my Navi go down with that one, but that was the best action film of the year, in my opinion. And now, speaking of action, we did see Thunderbolts Asterisk get nominated for a few of those awards. Let's bring on my co-host for Marvel-ous Movie Mondays. We returned this past week, and we have a big trivia match coming up soon that she's been, has been brewing on the kettle with her and Matt. But she is back here presenting an award, presenting her two favorite awards of Best On-Screen Couple and Best Kiss. It is Kelsey Kilpatrick.
I'm Kelsey. I'm 27. I'm a Marvel-ous Movie Monday co-host, and I am here to present the awards for Best Couple and Best Kiss, which in the past I've always done very begrudgingly. But this year, I'm trying something new. Because that is what my 2026 has been all about, experiencing new things, such as movies, books, TV shows, music, and so much more, and you can watch me experience it all on my new and improved YouTube channel, Kelsey Kilpatrick. Follow along to my series, Sorry I'm New Here, to check out some new and improved content. But for now, let's just find out who these winners are, shall we? Not only do both of these categories feature a couple from the DC universe, which I am now well versed on, but it also features a kiss between two vampires. And if you want to hear me talk more about vampires who kiss, you can check out my video on the entire Twilight saga over on my YouTube channel, Kelsey Kilpatrick. Okay, that's the last time I'm gonna plug my channel here. Probably. And the nominees for Best On-Screen Couple are Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson, The Naked Gun, Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender, Black Bag, Rachel Brosnahan and David Cornsweet, Superman, Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal, Hamnet, and Michael B. Jordan and Wunmi Musaku, Sinners. And the Audience Award for Best On-Screen Couple goes to Michael B. Jordan and Wunmi Musaku, Sinners. And the Pickle Award for Best On-Screen Couple goes to Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender, Black Bag. The nominees for Best Kiss are
What are you doing?
a little bit of pressure.
Okay. How about this?
And the Audience Award for Best Kiss goes to Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld in Sinners. And the Pickle Award for Best Kiss goes to Rachel Brosnahan and David Cornsweet in Superman. Thanks, Dyl, for once again giving me the amazing opportunity to present here on the Dyl Pickle Movie Network during the Pickle Awards. And if you like hearing me talk and seeing my face, you can check out my YouTube channel, Kelsey Kilpatrick.
And that's it for Kelsey. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for presenting those two awards for Best On-Screen Couple and Best Kiss. Now, I think it's time to announce my number 9 movie of the year, since I'm counting down my top 10 of the year. At number 9, a film that I saw actually on a plane, yet it just kept my attention the whole way through, and I was just hooked from moment 1 to the final moments. It was Jafar Panahi's It Was Just an Accident. Now, I wish I could put this a little higher, only because this was just such a stacked year, very top-heavy year for me, but this is just one of the highlights of my year, just seeing all the stuff Jafar Panahi went through to get these shots, to get this footage, but then telling a story that is also so seeped with all this political stuff, but also has like a lot of real great humor. It's a great road trip movie. It's great comedy. It has great characters, great hijinks. It's the real great tonal blend of the year. It's like putting every single tone in a blender, and somehow the smoothie just tastes delicious. So It Was Just an Accident, a fantastic, fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, it's a very important film. It's a movie that people put their lives on the line to make. Not saying that that is what needs to necessarily guarantee someone a Best Picture nomination, but when you're on the bubble and you have this and other movies that just feel a little bit safer, a little bit more conventional, it is definitely a shame that this film did not make it in for the Oscars. But It Was Just an Accident, my number 9 film of the year. Now let's keep the international love going with the nominees for Best International Film, because I've already talked about 2 great ones, No Other Choice and It Was Just an Accident. And I'll tell you right now, 4 of the 10 nominees for Best Picture tonight are international films. So really, really exciting category we got tonight. So here are the nominees for Best International Film. From France, It Was Just an Accident. From South Korea, No Other Choice. From China, Resurrection. From Brazil, The Secret Agent. And from Spain, Surat. Alrighty, so the Audience Award for Best International Feature is No Other Choice, one of my top 10 films of the year. And the winner, the Pickle Award for Best International Feature, is Be Gone's Resurrection. If you didn't see my TikTok of me literally walking through a snowstorm to go see this one on the big screen, you're missing out, because it was quite a treat. One of the greatest films I've ever seen in my entire life. So we'll talk more about Resurrection later, because it is in my Best Picture nominees, so I will have a spotlight to talk about it. It might even win the big award of the night. We'll see. I don't know, foreshadowing. But let's move on to another category that I added a few years ago that I'm so glad we have, and I'm so glad I made an extension of this category. I used to just think I could just give out Best Documentary, but so many great years come where there's great concert films, great musical pro shots, and this year we had great concert films, musical pro shots, and documentaries. So it's my pleasure to introduce the nominees for Best Documentary, Pro Shot, or Concert Film. The nominees are...
Oh, look, we got another audience member here. This is Hamlet, William Shakespeare's Hamlet. I believe this is the first time it's ever been performed at the Vinewood Bowl. If I could just request that you refrain from killing each other, and don't kill the actors either. Yes.
2 old friends, you were born 2 old friends. You gotta have 2 old friends helping you balance along.
It's the one band I don't know how to talk about.
I love them so much. I was obsessed with Slanted Enchanted.
They're like the slacker Rolling Stones of the 90s.
9 times out of 10, that lady over there probably called. Oh, I know. It's like the kids.
She thinks we're trying to steal her truck.
Do you even know how to drive?
Alrighty, a very diverse crop of nominees there. We got 2 musical pro shots, we got 2 documentaries, and then 1 film that is a documentary, a pro shot, and a concert film all in one. The audience went with the Oscar frontrunner, The Perfect Neighbor, for best documentary. So congratulations, The Perfect Neighbor. But I went for the film that is all 3. It is Pavements, one of the most unique films of the year, combining documentary, pro shot, and concert film. Yes, so it is a concert film about the band Pavement. It is a documentary of their life. It is a pro shot of the off-Broadway musical that they made with the Pavement music, and it is a recreation of a fictionalized musical biopic starring Joe Keery as the lead of Pavement and Griffin Newman and Fred Hetchinger and all these great actors as the different bandmates. So it is a amalgamation of so many different types of films. Came very close to getting a Best Picture nomination. It's also up for Best Comedy later because of those fictionalized bits that they kind of recreated the staging of the musical biopic. So you will see a lot more Pavements later in the show, but that is my best documentary. It just kind of is an amalgamation of so many things that I love. I've never seen the art form transcended in that way. But let's bring on another guest. I feel like it's time for another guest. You know him. You love him. He had a grand return, like JD, into the MCU Trivia League. He had a great teaser where he returned to his channel, Maddie Loves Movies, after a bit of a hiatus. I am so pleased to welcome back after a year-long hiatus, because we haven't had the show since last year. It is my buddy and yours, Matt Chapmond, presenting the award. Of course, co-host of Framewreck, got to present this award for Worst Film of the Year. Maddie, take it away.
Hello! It's me, Matty Fresh, Dill Pickle Movie Network's resident bad movie guy. I've been asked once again to present the Pickle Award for Worst Film of the Year. If we've learned anything on our show Framewreck, it's that a movie doesn't have to be good to be great. The 5 movies nominated for this award missed the mark for some, including Dylan himself. But for some of you, it was everything you hoped it would be. To some of you, including me in some cases, these 5 movies scratched an itch or filled a void or just made you smile. However you feel about these movies, you're right. If you thought a movie was great, it's great. And no one can tell you you're wrong. The Worst Film of the Year award is not a condemnation of these movies. It's a celebration of the range of films we get each year as film lovers and a testament to the divergent tastes we all have. The nominees for Worst Film of the Year are Happy Gilmore 2, How to Train Your Dragon, Jurassic World Rebirth, Megan 2.0, and War of the Worlds. And the audience award goes to War of the Worlds. And the Pickle Award for Worst Film of the Year goes to a film you may see on Framewreck very shortly. Once again, it's War of the Worlds. Making movies can be hard, and no one tries harder than people who make really bad movies. At least they gave it their all. At least they tried. At least they tried. I bet I could do that. I mean, worst case scenario, you get a Pickle Award nomination. I'm going to do it. I'm going to write a movie. I had 2 other awards that I needed to present, but there's no time for that. I have a movie to write.
Okay, so Matt, I had you scheduled to present 2 other awards, but Matt went missing right now to go write a movie. So I guess I'll give one of my top 10 movies again, my number 8. We're moving right along down my top 10 list. Let's talk about a movie that I know Matt loved. I know I love because it's in my top 10. Blue Moon is going to be my number 8 movie of the year. Richard Linklater is on my Mount Rushmore of directors. He's one of my 4 favorite filmmakers, and this movie just satisfied every itch I had for his style, for his writing. And what's crazy is he didn't even write it. I was listening to the script. I'm like, this is one of Linklater's zippiest, greatest little conversational, scripts I've ever heard. And then I looked at the script, I went to go read the script, and I realized it wasn't even him. And I like to do a little research before every movie I see, but this one I just assumed he wrote it. I didn't even have to look. But it actually wasn't written by him, and the fact that he, was able to pair his direction with the script and kind of merge the two to create something that still felt so wholly Richard Linklater, but also Ethan Hawke in the lead role is fantastic. All just the different musical references and different, kind of little Easter eggs for musical fans like Rodgers and Hammerstein fans. If you're a musical theater kid, if you're a theater kid, you're going to love hearing about Carousel and, Oklahoma and all these little like tidbits of little musical theater history, all set within one single event. And I love films like that are all taking place in one singular area and event. So this movie was everything to me, and there is always a place for it in the top 10 movies of this year. It's just not quite number one, but kind of keeping along with the Blue Moon, I did want to pay homage just to Lorenz Hart's music. And I know I opened the show on a funny note, kind of paying homage to like the things we lost last year in a funny way. But there were actually people who we lost last year that were monuments of their crafts, from directing to acting. All of the above. Just one of the most terrible years for losses we've had, maybe ever. And I think it's only going to get worse as we go along. The more and more celebrities born, the more people working every year, the more deaths we have every year that we have to mourn. And it's very sad. But I wanted to take the simplest of tunes, Blue Moon, and pay some respects to those we lost this year. That was a very sad occasion, but I want to continue this in memoriam by giving out the second annual Legacy Award here on the channel. This was something that I started last year with the passing of David Lynch, and it was very tough to choose one this year just because there were so many, as you saw, terrible losses this year. Rob Reiner and Diane Keaton, Robert Duvall, most recently, Catherine O'Hara. But there was one name for me that stuck out, and that is because of what I do. I get on here and I talk about movies, and one of my passions is going to festivals, and one of my favorite festivals is the Sundance Film Festival. And I had always heard this guy's name. My dad was actually on the set of Quiz Show. They filmed it at his school, and the director of that movie decided to invite my dad to a game of catch on the set of Quiz Show. And I always heard about this infamous director who played catch with my dad. And then it wasn't until I got older and then started watching movies, kids movies like Charlotte's Web and then Captain America Winter Soldier and Pete's Dragon, that I started noticing the name Robert Redford. And I was like, wait a sec, Dad, is that the guy you played catch with? And then as I grew even older and I started doing Picture This with Chad, I realized that Robert Redford was a bigger deal than just an MCU or Charlotte's Web or Pete's Dragon actor. Not to diminish those works, because they're all incredible. Pete's Dragon, one of my favorite movies of his whole filmography. But, you know, hearing the name Robert Redford and then getting to see the real titles that like made him the star he was, even most recently in January, covering Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid with Chad for Picture This. Robert Redford just left behind such a great legacy, not just as a film star. He's obviously one of the great stars of his time. Many people will say that Brad Pitt is like the second coming of him in the style of movie he was in the type of gravitas and star power he had. But he had just so much range. He wasn't just a typical action star. You know, he had so much depth, especially later on in his career, that he would bring to his work on the directorial side as well. You know, he was not just an actor, but he put his heart into the film behind the camera as well, directing films like Quiz Show and Ordinary People, which won Best Picture in 1980, over the likes of some of the greatest films of all time, like The Elephant Man, directed by last year's Legacy Award winner David Lynch, and one of the greatest Scorsese films of all time, Raging Bull. And I think it's just a testament to how versatile he was, that he wasn't not just pigeonholed as this movie star, that he had a great, you know, charisma behind and in front of the camera. And then he took it an even further mile when he founded what I will remember him most fondly for, which is the Sundance Film Festival. And this year hit very differently, obviously having Robert Redford pass and then getting to go to Sundance and getting to experience and walk those streets that he once kind of, you know, shaped to become this beautiful, flourishing, vibrant thing where people could gather together and just love cinema. And yes, there are stars. There are going to be people with bodyguards. There are going to be people, you know, who are getting pictures taken of them. But really, it is a communal space. You know, you have all these people just talking about movies and sharing their love for movies and paying way too much money for pizza as they sit and talk about those movies. And it was just a great experience to not only share with my girlfriend, but my co-host for Picture This, Chad, you know, my girlfriend, Allie, Chad's family, Carrie, Elliot, but then also people I had never met in person before. Dan Merle, a great critic that inspired me to do what I do here and being on a YouTube channel. I got to meet him in person. I got to meet Commentating Nerd, otherwise known as Andrew, and then Urban Caver, otherwise known as Cameron. You know, these people that I've always seen the names of, and getting to kind of put the faces to the names and get to, you know, just kind of sit and chat with so many great film fans. I mean, that was Robert Redford's goal, right? Was to bring people together, not just filmmakers, and allowing filmmakers a platform to get their independent voices heard and, you know, see the cinema that you would probably not have an avenue to showcase, you know, especially for a lot of these first-time directors. A lot of these screenplays would probably never get picked up. A lot of these movies that even get, if they get filmed, wouldn't have the place to get a buyer like A24, for example, with Ava Victor, who's nominated for several categories this ceremony tonight. You know, she got her start, you know, with Sorry Baby this year, taking off at Sundance, last year, I should say. But it is just a testament to the community that Robert Redford, you know, founded, and the ambition and the goals that he set forth in creating this festival. And this is just one of the many examples of how great a humanitarian Robert Redford was in bringing people together to share their love of cinema, but also just like be creative with one another and showcase these new voices, and not necessarily needing to retread the same old Hollywood voices and Hollywood machines, which is great coming from someone who kind of was birthed through that Hollywood machine and kind of watched the turn of the tides through the 70s with like All the President's Men and The Natural, and, you know, these films that kind of took the conventional genres and kind of spun them. And I just think it's so cool to see Robert Redford and the legacy he left behind, working with so many great filmmakers and so many great collaborators. I mean, Burt Reynolds being one of the most famous bromances of all time, you know, and that's showcased a lot in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and The Sting and plenty of other things. But, you know, he's found his way to kind of nestle his DNA into every ounce of this channel, whether it's Picture This, covering, you know, really, really great Oscar films. I'm sure there's a frame wreck film we could find, Matt, out there for Robert Redford, but even Marvel-ous Movie Mondays. He's in 2 Marvel films, you know, and that was a later career move for him. You know, I'm on the Disney cruise and he's in Pete's Dragon, you know, he's in so many different pockets of the universe of film. And then you just start every year with the Sundance Film Festival where all these new voices emerge, and it would not be possible without the amazing efforts and amazing talents of one Robert Redford. So the Legacy Award this year goes to the guy who played catch with my dad on the set of Quiz Show, Mr. Robert Redford.
I believe any of us are too successful or too accomplished ever to not be able to learn something new. I wanted to have a sense of place. I wanted to create a sense of home. I wanted to have a sense of community. I wanted to be able to do projects that were different from the run-of-the-mill. That's how this thing started. And it's nice to hear people saying, oh, you had a vision. Well, I think it was, I don't know that I saw that as much as it was just a personal thing. It's something that I wanted. I wanted to create this thing, I guess, for myself and for other people if they wanted it.
All right, there you have it. Robert Redford, the recipient of the Legacy Award this year. Thank you, Robert, for everything you've done for the craft. But let's lighten things up a little bit with some comedy. As I said, Ava Victor, huge year for Sorry Baby, came from the Sundance Film Festival, so it only felt fitting to continue this conversation and segue into the comedy and or musical category. Starting with the Best Actor in a Comedy and or Musical, the nominees are...
Breakfast of Champions. Okay, you can fast forward a bit. Maybe a little more.
Sorry.
Police prisoner.
There's a line, man.
Solving it. God didn't hide me or fix me. He loves me when I'm guilty. That's what I should be doing for these people, not this whodunit game. No, wait a minute.
Yesterday was the last job. I did it. I'm done.
Grab your coat.
I don't have one, sir.
You don't have a coat. How do you not have a coat?
I just forgot.
Well, you're just gonna have to be a little cold today. All right, let's go.
Alrighty, and the Audience Award for Best Actor in a Comedy and or Musical Film is Josh O'Connor in Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. And the Pickle Award for Best Actor in a Comedy and or Musical goes to Liam Neeson in The Naked Gun. One of my favorite shots right there, for all to see, which will be documented in Pickle Awards archives forever, if those do exist. I don't know. I haven't looked to see if there's any wikis yet for it. But thank you guys, those great actors. Now let's move on to the actresses in a comedy and or musical film. The nominees are...
I know this is hard to talk about.
It doesn't feel that you know that.
I told him I understood. I understood why he did it. I had understood it all.
I was wondering, do you have like stuff that makes a fire?
Why do you need it?
My friends and I were gonna make like hot dogs.
Hot dog sounds good.
I'm sorry, we only bought 2 hot dogs.
And the winner for the Audience Award for Best Actress in a Comedy and or Musical Film is Ariana Grande Botera for Wicked for Good. Congratulations, Ari. You couldn't get an Oscar nomination, but you won here. And the Pickle Award for Best Actress in a Comedy and or Musical Film is, we've talked about her a lot, but it is Ava Victor for Sorry Baby. They gave one of the best performances of the year, bar none. You'll see them a lot later in the show. But moving on to the Best Comedy and or Musical Film, the nominees are... Eddington, Freaky Tales, Pavements, Roofman, and Sorry Baby. Alrighty, and the Audience Award for Best Musical and or Comedy Film is Roofman! Roofman winning the Audience Award for Best Comedy and or Musical. And the Pickle Award goes to Freaky Tales. You know me, I am an Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck stan. That film tickled all of the itches. Is that the phrase? I use that phrase a lot. Satisfied all the itches. Scratched all the itches. There we go. But tickled all the funny bones in my body, as well as the action bones, all of the amazing dramatic bones, bones and all, Freaky Tales. So Freaky Tales is going to be the best comedy of the year. Even though some would say it's a loose comedy, it felt like the most appropriate category for it because it's just an amalgamation of so many different things. But Freaky Tales, one of the great films of the year. But moving on, let's talk My number 7 film of the year. Let's keep this countdown going. Number 10, 9, 8. Now we're at 7. Another international feature that I love so much from Brazil. It is The Secret Agent. This is just a film that dazzled me when I watched it. It's a film that kind of sneaks up on you, and once it kind of reveals what it is and all that it's trying to say, and the kind of reveals as it goes along are just so creative. It really puts you in a great sense of atmosphere. There's a lot of history married to this story that you could know all the history or not know all the history, and I think you can still absorb what it's getting at. And I think just knowing a lot of the history, having seen I'm Still Here last year, which was a Best Picture nominee, you kind of take a lot of that baggage into this film, and it just makes the experience so much richer. Tanya Maria, one of the great standout supporting performances of the year. You'll see her a little later on in Best Supporting Actress, but one of the great films, shot so beautifully, designed so beautifully, all the period detail, the costumes, just the photography, just absolutely gorgeous. The Secret Agent. So let us move on now to a first-time Pickle Award presenter. I love it. When I started this whole thing, it was like, let's network here. Let's not just be the Dylan Randazzo network. Let's expand it now. Let's just not be the Dylan Randazzo channel. Let's make it a network. Let's bring in people. I brought on co-hosts Kelsey and Matt and Zach and Chad, and through that we made a lot of great friends with a lot of great guest hosts that kind of found their voice by being guests on this channel. And one of them who has really taken off is Carly Perkins. So I'm really excited. I wanted to give her an opportunity to present an award here because she is just one of the most vocal members in the comments, in the chat, in the Discord. And now here she is presenting her first 2 Pickle Awards for Best Villain and or Antagonist Performance and Best Youth Actor, Best Young Actor or Actress. So Carly, your first time presenting. Take it away, my friend.
Good evening, Pickle Awards audience. I am so excited to be with you here tonight, presenting 2 of our more underrated awards. My name is Carly Perkins, and I will be presenting Best Young Actor and Best Villain and or Antagonist Performance. Let's start with Best Young Actor. As a teacher myself, I know how much impact and value our youth can bring to the world, and the nominees here are no different. Each and every one of them gave performances just as stellar as actors twice their age. It'll be exciting to see just how high their careers take them in the coming years. And our nominees for Best Young Actor are Everett Blunk, Griffin in Summer. Everett Blunk, The Plague. Miles Caton, Sinners. Jacoby Jupe, Hamnet. K.O. Martin, The Plague. And the Pickle Award goes to Miles Caton, Sinners. And the Audience Award goes to Jacoby Jupe, Hamnet. Both very deserving young actors. Now, on to our villains. Who doesn't love a good villain? It was truly a killer year for villains of all types. From the sexy Na'vi who had us all heating up, to the creepy racist who may be our father. We had all kinds of amazing villains this year who gave us someone to root against, and sometimes root for. And our nominees for Best Villain and or Antagonist Performance are Una Chaplin, Avatar Fire and Ash. Nicholas Hoult, Superman. Stephen Lang, Avatar Fire and Ash. Amy Madigan, Weapons. Sean Penn, One Battle After Another. And the Pickle Award goes to Una Chaplin, Avatar Fire and Ash. And the Audience Award goes to Amy Madigan, Weapons. Congrats to all our nominees and our winners, and have a great night.
Thank you so much, Carly. I apologize I cut off Sean Penn's title at the end there. I was just so eager to get to the winner. But Carly, picking out the envelopes and presenting, I thought you did a great job. So everyone give a round of applause for Carly and for JD. I don't know if it's JD, I don't know if it's Adam, but give him a round of applause as well. First time presenter. I would give Matt a round of applause, but I do think Matt will be back to present the next few categories I had him for. I got to check in with him still, but let's present a few more awards while we wait for Matt. let's actually present some animated awards. Why not? We love a good vocal performance. There are great villains and great youth actors in all of these films. So let's talk first about the best voice actor. The nominees are Jason Bateman, Zootopia 2. Remy Edgerly, Elio. Jonas Kibriev, Elio. Will Patton, Train Dreams. And Ben Whishaw, Paddington in Peru. Alrighty, where am I? Boom. And the audience award for best voice actor, I don't know where I am, I'm looking at the wrong graphic, is Jason Bateman for Zootopia 2. Jason Bateman for Zootopia 2. And the Pickle Award for best voice actor should be no surprise. It is Ben Whishaw for Paddington in Peru. Ben, I give you this Paddington cup. Just kidding. I love it. I'm keeping it. But there you go. Ben Whishaw. I didn't have a Pickle Awards in 2018 going into 19. I didn't have a Pickle Awards for best voice actor in 2015 going into 2016. I did a retrospective Pickle Awards, but this is the first time getting to properly award Ben his performance as Paddington. It's one of the most iconic vocal performances ever, so I had to give it the win. Y'all knew it was coming. But are you going to see this one coming? The best voice actress. The nominees are Louise Charpentier, Little Amelie, or the character of Rain. Arden Cho, K-pop Demon Hunters. Fortune Feimster, Zootopia 2. Jennifer Goodwin, Zootopia 2. And Zoe Saldana, Elio. Alrighty, and the audience award for best voice actress is Arden Cho for K-pop Demon Hunters. And the Pickle Award also goes to Arden Cho for K-pop Demon Hunters. A fantastic vocal performance, a great lead character there in that film. And now let us proceed to the best animated film. The nominees for best animated feature are Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. Alrighty. And the audience award for best, I almost said international, animated film. K-pop Demon Hunters, of course, it's the big hit of the year. And the Pickle Award also goes to K-pop Demon Hunters, one of the most vibrant, expressive, bold, fun, musical animated films I've seen. I loved it so much. K-pop Demon Hunters getting the prize for best animated feature. Now, moving along, before I get into some of the tech categories, let's cross another film off the list and get into our top 5 films. The nominee that came just short of the top 5, it got that 6th spot. If it had been a traditional year of 5, we would have not seen this film nominated, but I always give 10 nominees for a reason to include films like this that were not even on the Academy's radar. It was kind of on the radar, and then it wasn't, and then it didn't get any nominations, but it's Jay Kelly. I'm a Noah Baumbach stan. I love Marriage Story. I love Frances Ha. I love pretty much everything Noah Baumbach does. Jay Kelly, no exception. I thought this was fantastic. It's George Clooney's best performance since The Descendants, which might not be saying much, but it's still a really amazing performance where he gets to kind of have this meta kind of look at his own career through the eyes of this character of Jay Kelly. But I think there's a lot of great character work there too. I don't think it's just George Clooney playing himself, even though the ending of the film, there's this montage of clips of Jay Kelly, which are just essentially clips of George Clooney's career. But I thought that was a really cool kind of meta narrative as well. Adam Sandler gives a great performance. Billy Crudup steals the show in my favorite performance of that film. This is just a really great film, just from beginning to end. It's so artistic as well. A film like this doesn't need to have, be pulling all the stops artistically, but it does. I think this is probably Noah Baumbach's best looking film, the best shot film of his career, and just a really interesting look at a aging Hollywood star looking back. Kind of could play as a really good double feature to Sunset Boulevard, but it definitely has much more sentiment and sentimentality than something like Sunset Boulevard. But the ending is a little bit ambiguous. It leaves you in a spot where it's not all just peachy keen, and I really like that about the movie. So Jay Kelly, if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have seen it and didn't love it, give it another shot. If you have seen it and loved it, let me know in the comments because I loved it too. But let us move on to some of the tech categories, starting with, this is a fun one. Best Costume Design. Best Costume Design. The nominees are Frankenstein, Hamnet, Kiss of the Spider-Woman, Sinners, and Wicked for Good. Alrighty. And the audience award for best costume design is Frankenstein. And following suit, the Pickle Award goes to Frankenstein as well. Just some of the most lavish, beautiful costumes of the year. I would expect no less from a Guillermo del Toro film. Let's move on next to another design category. Let's move on to production design, shall we? The nominees for production design are The Fantastic Four: First Steps, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, Sinners, and Wicked for Good. Just so many different sets. You know, you have fantasy sets like Wicked for Good and Frankenstein. You have the really iconic barn setting of Sinners. You have all the period detail of Marty Supreme, creating all those pool halls and table tennis clubs and just the great hotel interiors. A really stacked year for production design. And then a Marvel film that wasn't all blue screen and green screen, but had some really dazzling period sets as well. I actually kind of want to see more Marvel films kind of go back in time and explore different time periods if it lends us to production design like that. But as is true with the last category, the Audience Award and the Pickle Award both go to Frankenstein for this one. Just some of the best sets of the year. And production design also includes props, and there are some amazing props in Frankenstein as well. So a great category there. 2 in a row for Frankenstein. Will it be a three-peat? Here's the nominees for Best Hair and Makeup. It might be. "28 Years Later," Frankenstein, Sinners, Weapons, and Wicked for Good. Alrighty, y'all. Very good makeup. Again, great zombie makeup in 28 Years Later and Sinners. Sinners, some great scarring makeup as well for Miles Caton. You also have the Wicked for Good transformation of the Tin Man, the Scarecrow. You have Frankenstein with the titular monster just being so well designed, so well made up. But the Audience Award winner, it's a three-peat. It's Frankenstein for Best Hair and Makeup. But the Pickle Award winner, I did go a little differently here. Just some of the most impressive makeup horror effects work of the year. It is 28 Years Later for Best Hair and Makeup. Just look at that guy. Look how gnarly he is. That is awesome. Everyone thought he was Cillian Murphy from the trailer, but it wasn't Cillian Murphy. That's how good the makeup job was to make him look kind of like a frail Cillian Murphy-esque type. Just fantastic. But let's move on to a category where they don't let a lot of practicality shine, but more so looking at computer-generated effects. By so many great visual effects artists, and I just can't wait to showcase these nominees for Best Visual Effects. Here we go. Avatar: Fire and Ash, F1, The Lost Bus, Mickey 17, and Sinners. And the Audience Award goes to Avatar: Fire and Ash. There you go. And the Pickle Award also goes to the most advanced CGI I've ever seen in my life. Avatar: Fire and Ash. Just when I thought I saw it all with Way of Water, they up it even more. They give us some great effects. Just between the past few years, just the way James Cameron's been able to evolve it is so fantastic. I'm just already on my high horse about Avatar, so I might as well say that that is my number 5 film of the year. I love this film. I get it. It kind of feels very similar to a lot of the beats that have been treaded in other Avatar films, but I thought the stuff that was new was pushing this in such an interesting direction, especially with Quaritch's character and Spider and the way they kind of mirrored scenes from the second movie. But because they're mirrored this way after these characters have both gone through so much growth in the last film, they're totally different contexts. It's like repetition as a means of showing growth, which I think is really, really fascinating. I think this is the most interesting stuff with Jake Sully's character that we've seen in all 3 movies. I think this has some of the best work with Zoe Saldana's performance, Una Chaplin's performance, all the mocap performing, it just kind of ups everything to another ante. And of course, the water effects just being some of the best CGI visual effects I've ever seen, to where when I look at this cinema landscape and I see all that is presented in front of me, there is no movie that is pushing the boundaries of cinema quite like Avatar: Fire and Ash. I really love it. It is bloated. It is big. It is a meal's worth of film. But sometimes you got to have your Thanksgiving, and every year you have to sit at the table and eat your stuffing and your your mashed potatoes and your corn and your gravy and your ham and your turkey and your pumpkin pie and your pecan pie, all the pies. And that's what Avatar is. It's all the pies. So Avatar, Fire and Ash, my favorite visual effects of the year and my number 5 favorite film of the year. But let's move on to the last 2 tech categories I have to present before we move on to Matt's return. He's written his film. I have heard he might have written his film. We'll have to find out. But here are the other 2 tech categories right here, starting with Best Sound. Avatar, Fire and Ash. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Resurrection, Sinners, and Sirat. Alrighty, some great sound work. I remember when I used to get on this mic and like make sound effects into the mic. I couldn't really do that. It would not capture the beauty of sound, especially for these 2 winners, which are the Audience Award winner, Sinners for Best Sound, makes a lot of sense. A very musical film, lots of gunshots, lots of vampire screams. And my pick for the Best Sound of the year, the Pickle Award goes to Sirat. Just what a unique soundscape that film brought. If you haven't watched my Death Race video where I talk about Sirat and the sound design and all the sound stuff going on in that film, it is glorious to behold. I love the sound in Sirat, just one of the most uniquely sounding films of the year. But let's move on to the final tech category I have right now. There's one more tech coming later, but there's a reason I save it for later. But here is the nominees for Best Film Editing. Good Boy, Marty Supreme, No Other Choice, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. Now, I know a lot of people are like, Good Boy, but in order to get that movie to work, you have only so much that a dog can do with this performance. The editors really made it look like the dog was acting and engaged with every single scene. And yes, the dog gave a lot of work, good work too. Indy did a great job, as true, because he got the Best Actor not to get a Pickle nomination award earlier today. But the way the editors were able to craft the film to make it feel like you were following him the whole way through, his perspective, a really, really great editing job in a film that I liked, didn't love. It didn't win, which is why I wanted to kind of give it its spotlight, because I didn't get the chance to. But the winner is the same for the Audience and the Pickle Award. It is One Battle After Another for Audience and for Pickle Award right there. One Battle After Another, just a gargantuan film edited to precision. And now I have heard that Matty Fresh is inspired. He's made his film. He's in the process of writing it, I suppose. So let's hear from Matty, who I believe is back to present his next few awards. Matt?
Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to write a screenplay. I'm going to make a movie. All right. I've got my typewriter. I've got my reading glasses. But what am I going to write? Write what you know. They say you should write what you know. Write what you know. I've got it. Interior. Night. The Pickle Awards ceremony. Matty Fresh walks out on stage. He is handsome and quite buff. Yes, he is a specimen. He walks over to the microphone, surveys the crowd, and begins his presentation. The nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay are heroes because they keep alpha men like me, who are very big and strong, and alpha men from having to read books. The nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay are 28 Years Later, written by Alex Garland. One Battle After Another, written by Paul Thomas Anderson, based on the novel Vineland by Thomas Pynchon. Hamnet, written by Chloe Zhao and Maggie O'Farrell, based on the novel by Maggie O'Farrell. No Other Choice, written by Park Chan-wook, Lee Kyung-mi, Don McKellar, and Lee Jae, based on the novel The Axe by Donald Westlake. And Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, written by Ryan Johnson. And the Audience Award goes to One Battle After Another. And the Pickle Award goes to One Battle After Another. Matty Fresh sees Paul Thomas Anderson rise in the crowd and begin his way to the stage. He notices something is wrong. Zoom in on badly applied wig. This is not Paul Thomas Anderson. As the imposter Thomas Anderson reaches the stage, Matty Fresh delivers a swift roundhouse kick to his head. The crowd gasps. Matty Fresh stands over his crumpled form and says, "Fear not, this was an imposter. I have bested him in combat." Matty Fresh returns to the middle of the stage. His rippling abs are able to be seen through his well-appointed tuxedo. And he says, "The nominees for Best Original Screenplay are also heroes. Because somehow, they come up with this stuff off the top of their head. They don't need any help. They don't need to read a book. Who needs to read a book? Not me." And the nominees are Blue Moon, written by Robert Kaplow. Sinners, written by Ryan Coogler. Jay Kelly, written by Noah Baumbach. Sorry Baby, written by Eva Victor. Marty Supreme, written by Ronald Braunstein and Josh Safdie. And the audience award goes to Sinners. And the Pickle Award for Best Original Screenplay goes to Marty Supreme. Matty Fresh looks out on the crowd, wary that another imposter might try to accept this award. But Josh Safdie is nowhere in sight. Suddenly, from the rafters, 20 ninjas rappel down and surround Matty Fresh. Matty Fresh takes off his sunglasses, which he was wearing the whole time, and says his famous catchphrase. "Josh Safdie couldn't be here tonight, but you're going to accept this ass-kicking on his behalf." Not bad.
Thank you so much, Matt, for presenting those awards. That was a bit that when Matt behind the scenes, they don't do these live, but they send me their clips. When I saw Matt's bit for screenwriting, I lost my mind. I fell out of my chair. It was so funny. That was just one of the most creative ways to present that award. And I didn't even want to intercut it with clips. I didn't want to give you snippets of the screenwriting. It was perfect the way it was. And thank you, Matt, for being just such a source of support and good humor and good nature and good fun. Matt is really kind of the police of the Discord who kind of keeps things positive and keeps things uplifted. And it's just a real sense of comfort and friendship for me. So, and a great talent. I mean, if you go check out Matty Loves Movies, I mean, what he's doing out there is so phenomenal. And he just returned with a great show, Screen King, with Stacey Morris, who you also might have seen on Picture This month and who has been a guest on several shows. But go check out Matty Loves Movies. If you're going to take anything away from this ceremony, it should be to subscribe to his channel because it is amazing. And that is just a clear example as to why. But Matt loves One Battle After Another. It is his #1 film of the year, and it is a film that just won Best Screenplay, so I want to give it its due as my #4 film of the year. What's to say that hasn't been said about One Battle After Another? It's one of the most perfect screenplays of the year. It's just such a great story, such great commentary, so topical, but also just funny. You know, it's another great hodgepodge of so many great tones. You have great action. I mean, that car chase, we already gave it a Pickle Award because it's just so intense and spectacular in the way it's shot, the way it's filmed, the way it's crafted. The performances are amazing. Sean Penn giving one of the almost iconic villain performances alongside Javier Bardem's Anton Chigurh and Heath Ledger's The Joker. I don't think it's quite on that level yet. It's probably like #3, but that's still a great company to be #3 too. And I just think that the overall body of work from Paul Thomas Anderson has all kind of led to this culmination. I'm so glad he's getting his moment. He might not get his moment tonight here because it's not the #1 film. It's not winning Best Picture here, but it's only because I have a different film that just spoke to me a little bit more in terms of my personal taste. But it's still my #4 film of the year amongst 100 and I think 2 or 3 films that I've logged so far on Letterboxd for last year. And I still haven't finished logging everything for last year. So I'm really a fan of this one. There's an easy road to Best Picture, and it will be completely deserved if it wins at the Oscars. But here, it will not. But we must move along. And this is a year where, I'll just say right now, the cinematography in the 5 films I nominated, but just across the board in films that I didn't even nominate. said earlier, like Kokuo would have been a great nomination for this, but Marty Supreme, one of my favorite films of the year, didn't even get nominated for this category. Again, because the category is so stacked for cinematography that I really wanted to give cinematographers this year their due. And I wanted to compile a supercut of all the 5 films I nominated for Best Cinematography. Now, these are just going to be the 5 films I nominated, even though I could put so many other films in there. The new Mission Impossible was well shot. Even some comedies like Sorry Baby, Freaky Tales, like all of them were really, really well shot. But these are the 5 that just spoke to me the most. And in a year with 5 exceptional methods of storytelling through the camera, it was hard for me to pick a winner. I want to just talk about each one though. Like 28 years later, all filmed on iPhones. And if you've seen the behind the scenes of how they all do it, it's fantastic that they were able to get those images with iPhones. One battle after another, obviously, more old school style of filmmaking, but, accomplishing such gargantuan things with the camera. That car chase in particular is just such a great masterwork of camera work. And then Sinners, that one shot is kind of the centerpiece of the cinematography in Sinners. But it really just is a film all about the style, and I think the cinematography really aids in that. Train Dreams, just a glorious look at a very particular part of America, just kind of letting the beauty of the nature speak for itself, but showing it in a very artful way. Really interesting use of perspective and where the horizon line is. If you've seen The Fabelmans or have heard the Steven Spielberg story, like the horizon's in the middle. Sometimes this actually lets the horizon sit in the middle for a very deliberate purpose, and then sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher. And I just really love with how the cinematographer stages the actors in that space for Train Dreams. And then Resurrection, a film a lot of people haven't heard of, but it's a film that chronicles each one of the senses in each of these different dreams. And, throughout all of them, there are such glorious camera shots and camera work and great use of color, especially in Resurrection. The reds, the greens, the blues just punch so hard. Each film segment in this larger film piece just has such distinct personality. And then at the very end, you have this giant 30-minute one take, 30-minute one take, this vampire story that is just so, so beautiful. You saw The Kiss nominated for Best Kiss, but that vampire story with the reds and the fire and the smoke and the one take, a 30-minute one take is no small feat. So these are the 5 nominees for Best Cinematography in a 5-minute supercut. So enjoy what I think is the creme de la creme of cinematography this year. righty. Thanks for sitting through that. Such gorgeous camera work, right? This year, just incredible. But the audience award for best cinematography goes to Sinners, and the Pickle Award goes to, in my opinion, by a landslide, even though 5 amazing films, it's got to be Resurrection. Dong Jingsong's, work in that film, just superior to any film I might have seen on the big screen in like the last 20 years. Seriously, I mean, just that shot alone, just look at the shadow, look at the color. That film I will recommend alone for its screenplay, but I think there's so much richer stuff below the surface as well. But just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous masterwork of cinematography that, if you will indulge me for a second, I do have to share, because as of today, looking at the screenplay precursors and all the awards it's won, Resurrection is now the only film to be nominated 5 times this season and win all 5 times. All the other films here have lost. Train Dreams lost 41 times. One Battle After Another has lost like 45 times or 44 times. Resurrection has never lost an award for this category. Just saying, and it's not going to start today. That is my favorite cinematography probably I've ever seen on the big screen. Period. And that's a big statement, but I'm going to stand by it. But let us move on to a man who is no stranger to gorgeous-looking movies, because we cover 5 to 10 movies a month on our show Picture This. So I'm bringing on to the channel our last co-host presenter, Chadwick Webb, who's going to present all the horror and or sci-fi categories, which this year are kind of all horror films. Some of them are horror and sci-fi, but most of them are just horror films. But nonetheless, sci-fi and or horror. Chad, take it away.
Hello, Dylan. Hello, Pickle Crew.
What's your favorite scary movie of 2025? Was it Wolfman, the movie that broke Lee Winnell's genius streak? What about Companion, the movie all about control that made us fall in love with Sophie Thatcher? Could it be Presents? Soderbergh movie that was almost filmed in your boy's house? Hard Eyes made you afraid to celebrate Valentine's Day, right? Oz Perkins delivered some movies that, actually we can move on from those. What about Final Destination Bloodline? Generic title, but surprisingly fresh installment in the franchise. 28 years later made us look at death differently. And Together made us look at Alison Brie and Dave Franco differently. Weapons made us want to run around like idiots. Another Conjuring, another Strangers. Good Boy made India star and we fell in love. Woof, woof. Del Toro perfected a classic Universal monster. The Grabber came back Freddy Krueger style in Black Phone 2. Chris Stuckman and the Philippou brothers proved yet again that YouTubers can make movies too. What? You still don't have a favorite? Did I forget something? Oh, right.
Sammy.
Sinners proved yet again that original horror can be both brilliant, beloved, and super successful. Now for the awards.
It was me the whole time. I always had a thing for you, Dylan. Oh yeah, wait, I gotta get those awards. What were they again? And now the nominees for Best Actor in a Sci-Fi and or Horror Film are
Somebody take me into home tonight. Blue.
Yeah, it took me a while to realize the truth of this. This is walk or die.
This is the way. Together. Forever.
We brought this with us from home. It's magic what we do. It's sacred.
And the audience award for Best Actor in a Sci-Fi and or Horror Film is Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein. And the Pickle Award for Best Actor in a Sci-Fi and or Horror Film goes to Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. Here are your nominees for Best Actress in a Sci-Fi and or Horror Film. The nominees are
Beautiful things.
Well, I hate to say it, but his parents have been feeling unwell as of late, and I'm staying with them to help take care of Alex.
Oh, probably your fish sandwich messed up my guts in the first place. Using old stale grease.
I ain't never used stale grease, and you know
Shut up, Annie. Smoke.
Don't talk to him. You talking to me right now. Why you can't just walk your big ass up in here without an invite, huh? Go ahead. Admit to it.
Admit to what?
That you dead. That one of them white folks out there killed you and you a hate now.
I heard you loud and clear, but then you stuck your tongue in my coos and f***ed me so hard, I figured you changed your mind.
Keep your voice down now.
I don't understand. I feel things. Anger, sadness. I know what pain feels like.
and the audience award goes to Amy Madigan, Weapons. And the pickle goes to Sophie Thatcher, Companion. Wow, Companion came out forever ago. And here it is with the Pickle Award. Congrats, Sophie Thatcher. And the nominees for Best Sci-Fi and or Horror Film are 28 years later, Companion, The Long Walk, Presents, Sinners. And the Audience Award for Best Sci-Fi and or Horror Film goes to Sinners. And the Pickle Award for Best Sci-Fi and or Horror Film goes to Sinners. Wow, congrats, Sinners. And honestly, I don't know, you might end up winning Best Picture. You might end up going home with a lot of those 16 nominations you got. Congrats on your awards for the Pickles audience and, Pickle Award winner. Sinners, you're one damn fantastic movie. So, but yeah, as always, thank you, Dylan and Pickle audience for having me do this, because it's always so much fun to come up with some weird, crazy ideas for this stuff. And I hope the Pickle Awards go smoothly or in a great success. And you guys are having a great time. Go movies.
Thank you so much, Chad. Just to fact check a little bit, 27 nominations actually tonight. And Chad asked the best question: is it going to win Best Picture? We have 3 films left for Best Picture. We have Marty Supreme, Resurrection, and Sinners left to be counted down. And I will tell you, Sinners will not win Best Picture because it is my number 3 film of the year. Sinners, number 3 in a film list that is 100 and plus films long. So I'm trembling over my words because I know this gets me in a little bit of hot water just because Sinners is kind of the big crowd favorite of the year. But it is one of my favorite films of the year. It's actually the first movie that Allie and I saw in a movie theater together, so there's that sentimental tie to it. But it is also a film that I saw so much earlier in the year than Oscar season, and it has really held on. It's grown in my estimation. It stayed in my brain. It stayed relevant. It stayed culturally impactful. It broke the record for Oscar nominations of all time, not just because they added a casting category, but because it was able to pick up more than any other film in history. And even without that casting award, it would have gotten one more than all the rest anyway. So just a really amazing kind of spin on vampire stories with a real great subtext of societal commentary. And just great performances, great horror, great musical numbers, great original music, great music performances, a great find in Miles Caton as a great performer. He is still nominated for several more awards tonight, 2 more awards in Miles Caton nominated for tonight. But yeah, just one of the most amazing casts of a motion picture this year. Just an amazing film through and through, which means Marty Supreme and Resurrection are our final 2. You will have to find out who will win this showdown, this madness, if you will. It is Friday the 13th. Anyway, and it is March Madness season almost. We are almost at March Madness for real, but we've been doing a movie franchise March Madness on the page. I just want to share the matches for today, which I didn't post today because I'm actually going to give you the link today, right now, in the comments so you can go vote while I present the next category. But the matchups today are super fun. We have Superman, who's taking on American Pie. There, I said it right, Superman. That's the second time I'll say it right, and the last time I'll say it right. But yeah, we have Superman, the 7 seed, going up against American Pie, the 10 seed. 16 films in that Superman franchise, including all the Snyder stuff, the Donner stuff, and all the stuff in between. American Pie, 9 films in the American Pie franchise. So you can vote for one of those now. And then the 3-14 matchup of Kung Fu Panda and the Predator. What a matchup that is. Poe versus the Predator. 4 films in the Kung Fu Panda franchise, just those 4. Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Predator, 9 films, including the newest ones of Prey, Predator Killer of Killers, Predator Badlands, all which came out in the last 5 years. So go vote. I will put the link in the chat right now. It should be there for you to vote. Please try to still pay attention to the Pickle Awards, but it takes you a second to vote. So if you want to go vote now while I'm talking, I'm going to stall for 10 more seconds. Marty Supreme, Resurrection, the final 2 films left standing for Best Picture, but we have a few other categories to go before Best Picture, and that is the acting prizes. So I assume you voted by now. I assume you can hold off till the end of the show. I will also put it in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, go to the Dill Pickle Movie Network Discord, where all the hosts are chatting, including Chad. Thank you so much, Chad, for being a part of this show, as always, and for presenting in a fun way, and rattling off all the great horror movies. I love that you did that just to kind of shed light on all the great ones, including the Oz Perkins ones, because I know there were some fans of his work. I know the monkey has its fans. So thank you, Chad, as always, for presenting. I know I kind of asked for a deadline on your birthday, not remembering it was your birthday. So thank you for getting your video to me and being a part of this, as always, and being a great part of this channel. But let us move on to the Best Cast Ensemble. These were such amazing casts, and I'm not just looking at the big names, but all the supporting characters in between that make up this giant whole. These are the nominees for Cast Ensemble. The cast of Black Bag, the cast of The Long Walk, the cast of Marty Supreme, the cast of One Battle After Another, and the cast of Sinners. Alrighty, and the audience award for Best Cast of a Motion Picture is the cast. Is this the right graphic? Yes, it is. Sinners, the cast of Sinners. Sorry, I need to get some reading glasses. I'm turning into my dad. And now the Pickle Award also goes to the cast of Sinners. Just what a great ensemble. As I said, a great find in Miles Caton. Great kind of leading role efforts from some actors who have just been great rising stars over the last generation, like Haley Steinfeld, Wunmi Mosaku, Michael B. Jordan, obviously his partnership with Ryan Coogler, one of the best in the biz. And then Delroy Lindo giving a great veteran performance. He is a veteran actor. I don't care what those people on the red carpet who asked him what it's like to be an up-and-coming actor in Hollywood thought. Delroy Lindo been getting a lot of hate this season, but he is one of the bright spots of that film in just such an eclectic, amazing ensemble. But we must move on to another acting category. These are going to be the nominees for Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actor. The nominees are... Those are Supporting Actress. Let's look at the nominees for Best Supporting Actor.
Truth hurts, so I lied to you. Yes, I lied to you.
Try it. You make movies. That's what the world wants from you.
He can't contain himself any longer. He turns around to look at her, and she is trapped in the underworld forever.
You forgot about door number 3.
There's no door number 3.
Door number 3 is... I see you in hell in a gasoline suit.
Oh, you are a smart ass. You're just the other little princess, aren't you? Smart mouth. like your mother. Your mother had a smart mouth, and I buried her.
Alrighty, some iconic performances there, but the audience award for Best Supporting Actor is, I mentioned him, he just won for the cast of Sinners, and he wins it, he's winning again, Miles Keaton, the winner for Best Supporting Actor. Such a cool win, audience. But my Pickle Award for the Best Supporting Actor might come as a surprise, because I feel like I haven't talked about this performance a lot this season, but my pick for the Best Pickle Award, Best Supporting Actor of the Year, is Paul Mescal for Hamnet, for such an iconic figure as Shakespeare, to be able to step into those shoes and, you know, deliver such a nuanced performance and give us a layer of Shakespeare that we didn't know before. Because obviously there's not much documented about Shakespeare. There is and there isn't. You know what I mean? He's one of those just larger than life figures. And Paul Mescal brought a real groundedness to him. I feel like every portrayal of Shakespeare we see is so theatrical, and he was not theatrical in any sense in this movie. And I thought it was just very tender, very beautiful performance. So Paul Mescal, so snubbed. Both those guys. Those are my top two snubs for the Oscars this year, Miles Keaton and Paul Mescal. Such a shame neither of them got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but they got nominated here, and they both won here. So I'm very, very happy to award them with the audience here. But we are now moving on to the Best Supporting Actress. The nominees are...
Did you masturbate this morning?
Oh, good. The embarrassing personal questions start early.
Yes or no, whenever possible, please.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this.
Did you masturbate this morning?
No. Didn't have time.
There's a bone. What? In the fish. Sorry? No, it's fine. It's just like maybe you should like debone it a little bit better before you serve it to people.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
Oxe, roubaram meu cigarro.
Eu não deixava. Mas precisando eu tenho. Não deixava roubar meu cigarro.
Fuma já tem quantos anos?
60 anos.
É, nada. Quantos anos a senhora tem?
77, o registro de nascimento. Eu sou de 1900.
The message is clear. Free borders, free bodies, free choices, and free from fear.
Alrighty. The nominees, there they are. And the winners. The winner for the Audience Award for Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture is Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. Super well deserved. But the Pickle Award for Best Supporting Actress, maybe a bit of an upset, Marissa Abella for Black Bag. That performance is one of the first performances I saw this year, and every single time I went to write down my favorite performances of the year, she always stuck out in my mind. Maybe it's because her name starts with an A-B and she's first alphabetically on all the lists, but something about her performance just has stuck with me all year. It's my favorite performance in a stacked crop of performances. She stole the show from Cate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, all these amazing actors, and being able to stand out and give some of the best scenes in that film. I always love to prop up performances that aren't necessarily as recognized, and I feel like Black Bag was just never going to be given a chance to. But even if Black Bag was a juggernaut in the award season and had come out last week, I still would have given her that award just because I think her work in that film is so good. If you haven't seen Industry on HBO, she's amazing in that too. She was great in the Amy Winehouse biopic. That film wasn't very well received, but I really hope she has her moment and becomes one of those breakout stars, gets her nominations, gets her due in the next few years. But Marissa Abella, the award winner here for Best Supporting Actress. Now we've got two more acting prizes, one director prize, and of course that coveted picture prize. You know who the final two are. Marty Supreme, Resurrection. Who's going to win? I've talked a lot about one on this show already. Haven't really talked about the other, but I'm about to show a performance from the other one right now. So let's pay attention here to the nominees for Best Actor.
But I'm telling you, this game, it fills stadiums overseas. And it's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
How can I play people when I don't see people and touch people?
Don't touch people.
If you can't answer what time is it, I cannot give you the rendezvous point. This is a key tenet of the rebellion pact. I'm surprised you can't name it. I don't know if you are.
Was she...
Oh, no. I mean, I'm in love with her. But everybody's in love with her.
No doubt about it. Last time I see my brother. Love you. Last time I seen the sun.
Alrighty. So, the Audience Award for Best Actor is Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, a dual performance, an excellent performance. this was by far the closest category for me because I have 3 performances I'm toying around with. One of them is Michael B. Jordan. Another one, Ethan Hawke, who's fantastic. And Leonardo DiCaprio, one of his best. But the other person I was toying around with Michael B. Jordan and Ethan Hawke, is going to be my winner here for the Pickle Award. I condemn all his statements he's made about ballet and opera, but for performances, the best performance of the year for me is Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. I had to put that disclaimer there because I know he's in some hot water right now for things he said, but I do think it is, for me, the performance of the year in one of my favorite 2 performance films of the year. Sorry. But yeah, Marty Supreme, excellent film. I guess I'll talk about it now. But yeah, Marty Supreme, just one of those high electric, high octane, energetic pieces. And a lot of it is to do with Timmy's performance. So I will be, because I do feel a little guilt giving him the award after everything that's transpired this week, I will be taking Allie out to the opera and or a ballet when we get off the ship in the new year. In around December, January. So stay tuned. I will post pictures of our time at the opera. Maybe I'll dress up like this for it. I will, because I think it's a great art form. It's not a dying art form. There's a reason the tickets cost so much money. It's because it's a very popular art form and it sells out every night. So there you go. Opera singers, ballet dancers, I'm with you. I see you. If I had the budget, I would have an opera singer come here and sing the songs from Wonka and Call Me By Your Name and Bob Dylan, just because I thought that was a really funny bit, and I was going to do it, but I was like, I'm not a professionally trained opera singer. I used to train when I was a kid, but I don't train anymore, so I figured that would be very cringe. So if you are a professional opera singer who wants to do me a solid as a favor and record some Timothée Chalamet songs in opera, I think that'd be a really fun bit for next year's awards. So reach out to me, let me know if you're interested, and we'll hook up our communication and try to get that done for next year. But yeah, a great performance nonetheless. I just wanted to say that sometimes we have to separate the art and artist, and for me, I had to separate the art from the artist and award what I believe is the best performance of the year. But let's end on a high note here for performances. Let's talk about Best Actress.
And who will win?
I shall, of course.
Of course you shall.
I'm not a mom. I'm not. This isn't supposed to be what it's like. This isn't it. This can't be it.
I was born on 6 March 1937. My house is at 1356 Flatbush Avenue. Could somebody who had, you know what, have told you that?
And if that joy, that's the real, doesn't thrill like you think it will.
All I had was a button, and I don't want him to go to jail. Why is that? He has a kid.
Alrighty, so the audience award for Best Actress goes to Jessie Buckley, and the Pickle Award, Carly in the comments wondering if she's going to run away with it. She is. Jessie Buckley giving my favorite female performance of the year. Between her and Chalamet, it's really tough to pick like my favorite performance of the year overall, but she gave my favorite in that film. Her and Paul Mescal together, just such great chemistry. I know Hamnet wasn't in my top 10 this year. I'll talk about on Picture This as to why, but I do think the performances alone are enough that should guarantee you a front row seat to see it whenever you can. It's now on Peacock, so go watch it. If it's still on Peacock a few years from now, let me know. But at the time of recording, at the time of airing, it is on Peacock. So go watch Hamnet. It is a gorgeous film, and the two of them are just magic in it. So we've moved on to our final 2 categories of the night. I just want to say thank you for everyone who's still tuning in. We have a bunch of watchers and viewers right now, and we are rounding the 2-hour mark. I was hoping to get it down under 2 hours. I'm going to go slightly above 2 hours. I hope that's okay. But here are the nominees for Best Director. Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another. James Cameron, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Ryan Coogler, Sinners. Be Gone, Resurrection, and Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme. Alrighty, and the audience award for Best Director goes to Ryan Coogler for Sinners, and the Pickle Award for Best Director. This was impossible. But the Pickle Award, well, it's the same. It's Ryan Coogler for Sinners. There, I just ripped off the Band-Aid there. Ryan Coogler, just his vision in this film, just that one sequence alone in the barn with the music, I Lied to You, is just such a great sequence. But then just all the rich social commentary, the way he's able to direct Michael B. Jordan and himself, direct two Michael B. Jordans essentially in the space and kind of work with the obstacle of having twins, but also just bring out such great performances in his cast. His ability to kind of bring such great horror moments and beats, but also letting the rich kind of dramatic moments speak for themselves. I think it is one of the most gorgeous direction jobs. And while it didn't win my best screenplay, even though it was very, very close, I do think the direction is sublime, and I wanted to give him the award. But as you know, Sinners was my number 3 film of the year, not my number 1. So what is my number 1? It's between Resurrection and Marty Supreme. I've talked about both of them. Marty Supreme I just talked about with Best Actor, but just so high energy, such an amazing, entertaining film, just so entertaining. And then Resurrection, just this gorgeous kind of art film. It's cutting open this android's head and seeing all these dreams projected, almost like a movie camera. And you start to go through all the 5 senses. So one scene is all centered around sound, and then another scene is all centered around touch, and then one about taste, one about smell, and then all of them kind of encompassing the sense of sight. And you have a 30-minute long one take with vampires. It's just one of the most glorious, unique things I've ever seen on screen. And in Marty Supreme, just one of the most entertaining things I've seen on screen. But not just entertainment, but all these rich underlying, kind of subtext about the Jewish experience post-war, which I think is fascinating. The idea of this character being so hungry and having these hungry in a winning sense, like hungry for the win, and wanting to achieve excellence, but knowing that he might have to settle for less, and understanding what is actually important and valuable in life, and kind of learning that lesson. But we still don't necessarily see a completely changed character by the end. And I think it's really cool that we have a very flawed protagonist. And then Resurrection has one protagonist playing all these different roles, slipping into all these different dreams. This is neck and neck, apples and oranges, two very, 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 very different films. So I'm going to mull it over one more time while I show you the nominees for Best Picture, and I try to make up my freaking mind. Nominees are... All right, the time has come. I've talked about both of them, but the winner. First, you know what? I'll give you the audience award so I can still mull it over a little longer. The audience award for Best Film is Sinners. This is the big hit of the year. This is the film that got the most votes, and it wasn't even close. This vote was not even close. We got hundreds and hundreds of votes. This one won with like 38% of the vote, which is crazy, with 10 films. And you know what? Marty Supreme and Resurrection still got some votes. They were number 5 and 6 on the poll. So I'm very, very happy. But Sinners kind of ran away with it. And it's easy to see why. And I could see it winning Best Picture. We'll talk about that. I'll be on here tomorrow to talk about my Oscar predictions. But I've done it. I've made a decision. It's one of those questions of like, what's the best? What's the favorite? And in this sense, they're both the best. And one is the favorite. And in my number 1 spot, the Pickle Award for Best Picture goes to Marty Supreme. There you go. That is my pick. I'm just going to rattle it off just because of posterity's sake. Resurrection number 2. I said all the amazing things I had to say about it. If anything you can take away from this video, aside from subscribing to Matt's channel, is to go see Resurrection, then I've done my job. I just want people to see it. My friend Ben talked about it, and his Letterboxd review was so glowing that I was like, I want to check this out. I trekked through a blizzard in New York City to see this movie, and I left this 3-hour dream experience in Chinese with all these glorious images. I left a changed man, but I also left a changed man at the end of Marty Supreme. Just the way that ending hits and the journey you go on. It's the journey, it's the destination, it's all the above. The great performances. Honestly, I think I under-nominated the performances in this film. I think Gwyneth Paltrow and Odessa Zion are just as good. I think the casting is so brilliant, casting these real-life, non-actors in actors' roles. Yes, there are problematic people in the film, but they play really problematic people in the film, so it kind of works a little bit. Hey, everyone still loves Home Alone 2, right? But I really do think this is a glorious film, a great sports film, a great drama, a great romance, a great kind of like Bonnie and Clyde, like toxic romance as well. A great story about love for a dog or carelessness for a dog, but then learning how to take responsibility for a dog. Also great production design, great use of sets and period costumes and sound. I think the production design is so underrated. I think people are just like, what's special about the production design? Then you watch videos of how they created all these spaces, all these table tennis clubs, all these arenas, and you're like, whoa, like this might be the best production design of the year, if not for a little film called Frankenstein. But I do think this is, for me, the film of the year. And that is going to be my number one. Things could change. I have not finished watching all the Best Picture nominees in prep for Picture This. So Picture This, I could have a completely different ranking. Who knows? But right now, that's where it's sitting. And I'm very, very excited to see all of you logging Resurrection on your Letterboxd in the next week, logging Black Bag. If you don't find Resurrection playing near you, because it's probably not, it will probably be streaming soon. It is going to be on Criterion in like a month. So if you can wait for April to celebrate my birthday, it'd be really cool if everyone got a copy of Resurrection on Criterion and watched it. You don't have to go buy. It's going to be on the Criterion channel, JD, on the 24th. Even better. So if you don't have the Criterion channel, get a free trial and go watch it there. Thank you so much, Matt. Great show. I'm finally responding to some comments. Chad called it. I don't know what he called. I don't know when he sent that message. Probably Best Picture. But yeah. Very, very exciting. Vote on March Madness. 2 great matches, Superman and American Pie, Kung Fu Panda, Predator. Thank you for everyone who voted. Your best picture was Sinners. Mine was Marty Supreme. One battle in my top 10. Resurrection got a good spotlight. My girl, Una Chaplin, won 2 awards tonight, I believe. I think. Yes, villain performance and actress in an action film, I believe. If I didn't, I'm going to write that wrong right now. But so many great films represented today that I was very, very honored to shed a spotlight on. I just want to share the win totals just because everyone's probably curious about it. Sinners walks away with 9 wins tonight. One battle, 6 wins. Marty, 4 wins. Avatar and K-pop each with 3. Resurrection, Hamnet, Black Bag, and Frankenstein with 2. And then 1 apiece for 28 years later. Seurat, Pavement, Paddington in Peru, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, I think that's what it's called. Companion, Freaky Tale, Sorry Baby, Naked Gun, War of the Worlds, Superman, and Final Destination. If you haven't seen any of these films, go see them. Even War of the Worlds, because as Matt said, there will be a Framerec episode for it. Just some housekeeping stuff. Picture This is coming back soon. Any minute now with our best of the year for 2025. Talking about the Best Picture nominees. There are some films that were not even nominated tonight of that slate. So I'm very excited to talk about. Actually, I think every single one of those films got some sort of nomination here. Maybe except for one. But we're going to talk about those films on Picture This. Matt and I will be back for War of the Worlds on Framerec, and then we have some draft days coming up, including an Oscar Snubs draft day that you can find on Sunday right before the Oscars. If you want some pre-Oscars watching, we got an Oscar Snubs draft day coming for you, and then my Oscar predictions. I'm going to be wrapping up the Death Race, and then once I get to Toronto, because I'm leaving next week on a jet plane, I'm leaving on a jet plane, and then I will find where I will end up, and I will do as much as I can from there. I promised a lot of videos at the beginning of this year. I was a little over-eager. I'm still hoping to get you all those videos by the time I leave for Toronto next year. So that means working on them this year, and then kind of, editing them by this time next year if I were to go back. Who knows if I'll get asked back or invited back. It'd be nice. But yes, hopefully by this Pickle Awards next year, all those videos that I promised at the beginning of this year will be coming to fruition. Anything else I'm forgetting? I'm not sure. Thank you, Carly and JD, your first time presenting an amazing show. Well done to you, sir. Carly, better than the Oscars as always. Oh wow, that's such a compliment. Thank you so much. I'm explaining the Oscars Death Race to my brother now. Yes, the Oscars Death Race, where I watch every single movie nominated this year, which is 50 films, which is a lot of films, including rewatching all the 10 best pictures. I'm only at F for Frankenstein, so I got to turn on Hamnet tonight. And thank you so much for watching this. I kept it a little over 2 hours, but not any more than 2.5. Thank you all so much. Have a great night, and stay safe out there. Thanks.